I hired a private investigator because I'm suspicious of my husband.
What did he do?
I hired a detective last weekend. He caught my husband, male 40, with his ex-secretary, female 33, on Saturday night. Plenty of pictures. There isn't any disputing this or the happenings. Kissing, hand-holding, and back to her room together for the entire night. Zero doubt on the events of the evening. By the way, this comes from Spirited Owl 2020, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, they were at a weekend business conference. I suspected it and was right. I actually felt like complete crap in the lead up and to a lesser degree still do. But his behavior was a bit off for a couple of weeks. I had that terrible gut feeling. I let him know over text this morning that he was caught. Read the receipt, but no reply. I didn't state any intentions. I just told him I would take a break to gather my thoughts. He should do the same. And I need to see if I can find a way to trust again. As expected, today has been a roller coaster of emotion, anger, and tears galore. This is the absolute worst feeling ever. I wish this on nobody, which leads me to the next thought. Do I send the pics to the secretary's husband? I'm conflicted on that. I'm not a vindictive person, and it's not intended to hurt the secretary. But my thinking is that I would want to know if he had found out instead.
Yeah, I was going to say, sorry to interrupt, but like, I feel like, yeah, you don't want to bring more people into the mix, but if you were...
This is a relevant person.
Yeah, it's a relevant person with a relevant person in the party here. If it was switched, would you want to know?
Yeah, and it seems like you do. So I think yes.
Sounds like it.
I would give him the, hey, you better tell her to tell the secretary's husband, or one of you, like, she should own up to it kind of thing. But if you guys don't,
Yeah.
I'll do it for him.
If you want, you could either tell him that, secretary needs to tell her husband, or if you fear, like, retaliation and you're worried about that, then just do it anonymously.
But even then, they can't legally, like, retaliate that in the workplace.
No,
They
no,
might,
no.
but they
Yeah.
technically...
Yeah. But this emotional pain is so heavy, terrible to inflict on someone. I haven't shared it with anybody. I feel this is our issue at the moment. Anyone I share with will simply hate him forever. Well, I don't think that the secretary's husband's gonna like him.
Like, this isn't your doing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, you might be the one to break the news, but it's like his wife did it.
Yeah. I have so many pics of them together, I stopped looking and moved them to a folder on my PC and zipped them up. Looking at them just stirs me up. I feel absolutely horrible that I did this, but I also realized that I needed to confirm the affair. Am I a horrible wife for hiring a detective? Didn't he break the trust first? Should I share the pics with her husband? Is taking a break a reasonable strategy?
Is the
Wait.
screen all black now?
Yeah, they blacked out because of how insane those questions are. OP?
Yeah. Girl.
Let's just take a minute
Back
and
it up.
breathe. Cause I'm sorry, a break? That is unreasonable. Break up, divorce. Should I share the pics with her husband? Yes. Didn't he break the trust first? Yeah. Don't feel bad for literally anything that you did because he cheated on you, girl. There is an update, but OP, you need to go to therapy because if you think that him cheating on you is in any way your fault, yeah, we need to work through that because it's not. Your husband cheated on you and sucks and you need to divorce him.
Divorce.
Update. Where to begin? For those that remember that he turned off his Find My, I was mistaken on the timestamp. It was before anything went down one day. That's still a huge red flag. Anyhow, the events went like this. He was sleeping with the secretary when he received my message calling him out. He was with her?
Yikes.
And we're still debating.
Yeah, wow.
We're debating this
Like taking a
divorce?
break. I mean, I think
No, we're not. We're beyond, like, break is not our debate. Divorce.
No, yeah.
Divorce.
You should not be going on a break. You should be divorcing.
it's a huge like, whoa, what's going on kind of thing. Gather yourself for sure, but divorce.
Get a lawyer.
Yeah.
He immediately went completely mental, dressed, and left the room, not before throwing his phone into the mirror.
Oh, that's real good.
He's like, this is your fault.
The hotel will bill us plenty, I'm sure. What do you mean us, girl? This was confirmed by his best friend, who went back to retrieve his belongings and the remains of his phone.
Oh, he's
He-
so sad that he got caught.
Oh my goodness, this guy sucks.
Boo-hoo.
He ended up as a complete wreck at his best friend's house. He was bawling about how he ruined his life, which he very well may have. He has been staying there in their guest house. We have not had any contact. His best friend's wife, my bestie for 20 years, came by this morning and is worried about him.
Excuse me?
Your best friend of 20 years just came over to you and said, I'm worried about your husband.
I'd be like, okay, tell his affair partner to take care of him.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, where's my worry?
Yeah.
Are you worried about me?
You worried about me? I've been here alone.
They are bringing him into the main house. She was to pick up a new phone for him later this afternoon. She said he has no condition to talk to me. He's a complete wreck, and they are worried for his life. I don't know if I could be friends with these people after this.
I can always have sympathy when something's getting to that extreme of a point that they want to like make sure that a human life is okay first.
Absolutely.
But then it's the return fact that they haven't seemed to check in.
That's
with
my
you.
point. Yeah. It's like, yes, we don't want this person to take his own life. Of course not. And we want to make sure that he's in a place where he doesn't do that. But the fact that there's been zero concern for OP is kind of astounding to me. They are monitoring him. He's been just laying in bed, crying off and on. And as far as they can tell, he has not slept. If he doesn't soon, they will get him something to help. They brought him food, and he has hardly eaten.
Boo frickin' who?
Yeah, I think at this point we call the 311 line or
Yeah.
whatever, and we bring him in somewhere, and he can get like professional
professional
treatment
help.
for that.
That's
'Cause
yes.
staying at your friend's house isn't gonna really be much help.
No, where they're like freaking waiting on you hand and foot after you cheated on your wife.
And now you want
yeah,
the sympathy
thing
of the
throwing you
world
into
for
this
that?
spiral is that you had an affair.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would have a pretty tough time having any sympathy for my best friend's husband who cheated on me.
I would get him help, but he wouldn't be staying
Yes,
alone.
exactly. Now, a quick background on the friends. She is my best friend for life, probably 20 years. We are extremely close and confide in each other about everything. Her husband is now his best friend. They were in our wedding. They have been close for 12 years. These are both professional people. They call BS when needed. They do not react poorly under stress, but are pure no BS. He can stay there as long as he needs, but knowing my bestie, she'll have his butt cleaning house or doing yard work. No pity party over there.
It sounds like right now that's what it
Crazy.
is.
This is crazy. What?
Yeah, I was gonna say, why is OP not? OP should be the one over there, and he should be the one be by himself, kind of thing.
She
Well,
did
yeah, I don't
mention
think he can be alone, but
Yeah.
you get him checked in somewhere and
that's
they help.
it. She did mention that this morning she went into his room and basically berated him for 30 minutes, told him to shut up and listen, and she will likely come back with more. I honestly don't even.
I'm just kind
Like
of
that.
confused.
This feels like for all of my summer, the summer I turned pretty fans.
Spoilers.
This feels like how everyone treated Jeremiah after finding out that he cheated on. But it just feels like everyone is coddling him. And then even in her like, oh, I just totally went off on him. It doesn't even feel like I'm protecting my best friend. It feels like I went off on him so you guys can get back together. Like that's what
No,
it feels
I
like
didn't
to
get-
me.
I didn't get
I don't
it, so
know.
you can get back together.
That's kind of what it feels like to me. It feels like they're taking care of him because they want their two friends to get back together. While I have sympathy for his current situation, it doesn't have a whole lot of bearing on the bigger picture. I still need to work through my next moves. I'm back and forth on divorce, but I never want to react out of emotion.
You should. You
React.
should react so hard with
React.
emotion and divorce this man so quickly.
I was gonna say, put a little bit more emotion into it.
His drama is meaningless. I thank you all for the excellent advice. I received 150 or so DMs, mostly helpful. A few guys looking to help me pick up the pieces.
Yeah.
Gross. A
Bad
couple even
Reddit.
sent their pics. Gross. A couple solicitations to online counseling dollars. Pretty crazy stuff here. I did get some great links to online articles that seem helpful. The last thing I would like to mention is the divorce him people. I totally get it, and I am leaning slightly that direction.
Lean harder.
But at the same time, I'm a believer in responsibility and being responsible.
It's
Those
your
are two of the same
responsibility to
things.
divorce him now.
We're in this marriage for better or worse. Girl, what?
No, yeah, but there's also in those, if
Huh?
you're going to be quoting your vows, I'm sure that there was something in there about being faithful
Yeah.
to one another.
I'm sorry. I really cannot get on the same page with people who are like, well, it said, till do us part. I've got to stay in this marriage no matter how deeply unhappy I am.
It also said be a good person.
Yeah, come on. OP, please. For your own sake, do not stay in this marriage where this person cheated on you and has no remorse. The reason that he is crying and freaking out is because he knows he has ruined his life.
He didn't even apologize. One, I mean,
Yeah.
even apology is not gonna do anything. But the man got caught through his phone.
Had a
But by the
little
way, he got caught.
tantrum.
When he got caught or told he
Caught
was
with
with the affair
He
partner,
was with her when
and then
she texted him.
I guess never came back home. Never tried to own up to it. Just
He
cut
has
off
not
contact.
once apologized to her. That's it.
Yeah.
This is clearly the worst. Infidelity may be beyond the scale of the worst. It really hurts. I've hardly eaten or slept, but I don't want to pull the trigger on that too quickly. Building trust again would be a huge task. Building trust based off what, though? Like, genuinely, what is there to build off of?
Yeah.
There is no base. There's
all broken.
There's nothing. You're building on sand. It's going to all crumble down. Before even considering that, I need to think this through. His current situation will garner no pity from me. He did this, and this is the beginning of the price he will pay for his actions, regardless of the outcome. I would likely sleep later. I am beginning to resolve myself to the whole situation. We have no children, but we are considering it maybe next year.
Nope.
Do not have
Nope.
children with him.
No.
He has really been wanting them.
I don't care.
I don't believe that
I
whatsoever.
don't care.
He's
He's
been
been go have
wanting
him with
them?
his secretary.
Yeah, I do as well. But if we reconcile, this will push that timetable or possibly even take it off the table. OP, if you are saying right now to me, you're
gonna
saying,
stay with this man.
I'm going to stay with this man, but I'm going to give up my dream of children because I no longer trust him to do that.
No,
then
I
you
think
no
she's saying
longer-
I'm staying with him just to have children.
No. She said this will push that timetable to have kids or possibly even take it off the table.
I was taking that as take it off the table because she's gonna divorce him.
So I
If
think
we
she's saying
reconcile-
if we
yeah,
reconcile.
I was taking that as
yeah.
it could also be because divorce. Though.
Yeah. I
Which
think
it should be.
It should be divorce. But I think she's saying, oh, well, I might give up on my dream of having kids if we reconcile because I don't trust him, in which case you do not trust him enough to reconcile. Rightfully so. Money is not an issue. He does well and will survive without me. I work part-time from home, and I'm pretty set for life. He would never go after assets. That's simply not him. Yes, I know divorce changes people. And then OP says, I feel I know him better than that. Even if you did, it would not be a major impact. I don't think you do know him.
You hired an investigator.
I genuinely don't think that you can say that you know him when he cheated on you, which is not your fault, but I don't think that we can expect anything out of this guy when he's already behaved in an unexpected way. There is an update. I do want to point out also that OP literally said, I haven't eaten and I can't sleep. Same things that OP's best friend is telling us that the husband's going through. And yet, where are her best friends for OP?
Yeah.
Nowhere.
I don't know about that one. I'm
Nowhere.
not on the completely throw out your friend thing 'cause we don't know if they're there or not.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like
they're on my radar.
Yeah. Doesn't seem like they've been there for OP at all. At least, we haven't heard that.
That's
they
what I
have.
was saying.
Yeah. But there is an update. He messaged me last night, appeared apologetic and full of shame. He wanted to call or come over this evening. I told him to leave me be and I will let him know. He has done nothing but apologize about his behavior to me and our friends. He feels he has done irreparable damage, and he has. Our previous relationship has ended. TBD if there is another in the cards. My bestie came over early this morning, let herself in, and surprised me with breakfast and flowers. Okay.
Where was this at the beginning?
Finally.
Where was this
That's
in
what
the
I
beginning?
think this has been happening. I think we just weren't hearing about it.
I don't know.
He's staying at that house because he is 12 years of friendship with that couple.
Yeah.
But
I don't
OP's
know.
20 years.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I was just saying I don't think we heard the side of it. That's why I was like, don't
Yeah.
get rid of these friends. They're still your 20-year friends.
She insisted I eat and said she would stare at me until I ate something. She said he is very remorseful and would not elaborate on him anymore. This is about you. We went for a run and it seemed to clear my mind. I work as I please, so I have no work schedule, which makes it easy. She'll stay the next couple of nights. We are going out to dinner tonight. Maybe a getaway this weekend to Cabo or something warm. I may not have been clear, but we have no children. I am 32 years old. We do have a prenup, the reason being because of my cash windfall. Well before marriage, is well into 7 figures, nearly 8. I don't need money. If the marriage were to go south, he would simply get a $500K payout. that is in place for 20 years from marriage date. I could possibly fight that payout as well, but I really don't care about it. The house is paid for. His settlement will only be $500K and personal belongings. My bestie is referring me to a therapist and an attorney. I am investigating all courses of action. I will not send the proof to her husband at this time, not until I consult with the attorney and therapist. This isn't straight justice, but if after consultation with them it makes sense, I will. One thought for my bestie is to have the attorney serve as proxy. He will be moving to their guest house on the weekend. He can stay indefinitely, and she will require him to pay her $750 a week. He can have no visitors and does not have house or pool privileges. He must park in the street and pay for a housekeeper weekly. By the way, you guys can have the privileges of listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. It seems like OP is on the way to divorce.
Yeah, I
which
feel like
makes me
we are
happy.
leaning to divorce. Thank
Yeah.
God.
Thank goodness.
That needed to happen.
Yeah, it seems like, we're getting a little bit more about the friends taking care of OP, which is good.
Yeah, I'm still kind of
Yeah.
wondering, unless I missed it, did we ever tell Secretary's husband?
No,
'Cause
what
that's
she
like-
just said, I'm not going to tell him until I talk to a lawyer about that.
Ugh.
Which I think is fair in terms of just making sure you're good legally.
I just don't see why you wouldn't be.
Yeah.
And if not, you can't, like, your friend say it or something.
Yeah. Couldn't you just kind of work around
He's
that?
staying there. She could have overheard it.
Yeah. I think it's good that they are doing it in this way of like making him pay for everything and making sure he doesn't have any of these privileges of living in the house. I don't know how I, as a best friend of someone, could be around someone who did that though.
I'm
would
okay with
probably
it
not-
only
yeah.
because I think that the husband has the friend with the other husband, but I would also like to think that as like a human, you wouldn't want to be friends with someone that just did that.
Yeah, that's
But I
my
could
point.
understand in the like crisis beginning
I think short
like,
term. Yeah,
a short term, like this man is suffering, even though he did it upon himself, like we can give him some short term grace to get back on his feet, and then it's like bye bye.
that's exactly how I would approach it. Yeah, because if I'm actually worried about someone's well being, I'd be like, sure. But in the long run, I'd be like, I don't know if I want to be friends with this person.
That's why I'm like, the rules set up is good, and it probably will hopefully motivate him to not stay long.
Yeah, you just you say you actually can't leave the pool house.
I hope
Unless you
like
have a
the
doctor's
pool
note.
house, it's yours now.
But there is a little bit left. The hotel billed him $600 for the mirror and room cleaning. He reimbursed my bestie for the phone replacement for his own account. He has an account with a few thousand for spending money. I have full access to it. We have joint credit cards. His have limits less than $10K each, all advised by the attorney that did the prenup and estate planning. I don't appreciate the harsh DMs. I also don't appreciate the guys asking if we would like to meet, nor the one that offered to be my personal spicy slave.
What?
Yikes. Just sick. Finally, divorce is absolutely on the table, but
Yay.
so is reconciliation.
No.
You had half of it right.
Stop. I didn't get to this place in my life by making rash decisions. This is not a rash decision. It all has to be worked through and planned.
Yeah, I fear you're gonna be stuck in this place because you're not willing to make a decision.
You might get a rash through his decisions.
Yeah, honestly,
God.
I hope that you got tested, girl. Genuinely, for your safety, I hope that you got tested because this man. That's the end of that story, though, and we've got another one coming up.
My husband has been talking with random women while abroad.
Abroad, what's her name?
And this comes directly from the OK Storytime subreddit. Me, 34 female, married my husband, 38 male, 9 years ago, together for 12 years. I know that most couples go through hard times, and we have had a few bumps in our marriage, but this one is the biggest yet.
It's a pretty big bump.
By the way, this comes from Recent Condition 862, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. As OP says, this year my husband decided to start a new business in an industry that he is not related to. He is the smartest man I know, ready to take a risk and go against the rules. And it usually all works out. I always support him in anything. We have 2 kids, 6 male and 4 male. I'm a stay-at-home mother in a new country for me without any family or support. My husband travels a lot for his new business, and I had no problem with that. But the results are not as great as we thought, and it's been almost a year. He has been stressed a lot. So my husband goes overseas a lot, coming back for less than a week each month, while I manage with 2 kids and the whole routine here. In April this year, we visited him in the country he was working in. For the first 2 days, everything felt off. He didn't spend much time with us, saying that we were still jet lagged and he needed to work. For the first time in 12 years, I felt weird. Call it intuition, but I did check his phone. Here is where I might come across as an a-hole and unsupportive wife. I found 100+ numbers and many chats with young girls there.
Okay. What do you mean young girls?
And chatting about what?
What do you mean young girls? How old? How young?
My Eastern European nature couldn't hold it for too long. I woke him up and I asked him what it was. He promised me that it was not much, just conversations that help him unwind and talk about things other than businesses or the stress of life.
You mean the thing you're supposed to do with
Your wife?
your partner or your wife?
Or your friends and not young girls? How old are these girls?
I was like really strongly hoping like maybe it's a business chat.
Maybe he's getting into like modeling and he wants a base of young girls.
It's called
Maybe
networking,
he's,
babe.
Casting for the next teen drama.
Stranger Things season 6.
I just don't understand why he chose young, beautiful Eastern European women for that, not a professional. Yes, he has the type.
OP, I understand why. And I think you do understand why.
I don't know that I understand what's going on.
Because he's attracted to the young women and he wants to
oh
talk
no,
to
no,
pretty
I
young
knew
women.
I knew
Oh,
that
yeah.
part. Yeah, I thought you were.
No, I think OP is just like, I don't understand why you would talk to attractive young women. Because he's attracted to them. Yeah.
I wanted to leave, but couldn't get tickets for me and the kids. He convinced me to stay until our return ticket together. One of the days there, I managed to get a local SIM card and pretended to contact him as one of the girls. In the beginning of the conversation, he agreed to meet, but then blocked the number. I really don't know what to think. I want to believe that nothing happened, but still don't want to become that stupid and blind in marriage. I lost my trust, and I don't know what I should do. I moved to this country for him. We got married 2 weeks after my move. I have never worked here, and I don't have any credit history. We have 2 kids with busy lives at school, and I have no one else. If I leave him, I know how hard it will be. I really hope it was just a stupid mistake, just conversations and nothing else. But again, why does it still feel like cheating and betrayal?
The
There
thing
an
is,
update.
Because it is?
It is
is.
cheating
It's
and
emotional.
betrayal. However, because you've just said, I don't have credit, I don't have a support system here, I have kids, I think you need to take some time to prepare before you cut him off. I think you need to take a minute and prep everything. I do want to validate you in that this is cheating and a betrayal. And if he was willing to meet up with one person,
Right. I do fear that maybe he only blocked that one because he remembered you were in town
yeah.
and what was happening for the like hundreds of others.
Mm-hmm.
Update, or more like a backstory. We met when I was 21 and he was 25. We come from different cultures, languages, and religions, although both of us are not that religious. Our families were cool with our choice. His very traditional parents still took me as their daughter. We have good relationships. When we met, we didn't have much. He had gone through a horrible breakup and the loss of his first business. He put on a lot of extra weight and was insecure about that. I saw him as a good person with a kind heart. We did long distance, and then I got approved for a partner's visa to Australia.
Nice.
We got married and both started from zero. Over the next few years, we started working and saved money. Later, we put it into real estate, and it worked out. While he gained confidence as a provider and got in better shape, I gave birth to our 2 children with a small age gap. I went through a lot during that time, including later diagnosed postpartum depression and the loss of my mother.
Ugh.
My body changed, I had mood swings, and I had no support in my everyday mom life. While my husband became more confident, started to grow our business, he found a few people overseas for investment, and this is how he started to travel. In the past 2 years, we traveled with him, but me and the kids weren't happy without stability. It was about time for our oldest to start school. We tried to live between 2 countries. This year, I started to realize that we have basically grown together, but probably want different things. He often talks about a luxury life and first-class travels, a Dubai-style life, which we're already achieving.
Dang.
I want a
Okay.
simple life in our small city in a big enough house with a garden and maybe some chickens. The kids also want stability. My oldest loves his school, which was hard to find because he's more introverted, and my younger one can't wait to start the same school next year. My husband talks about the future and how he's working on it. I talk about the present and how the kids are growing way too fast and we need to spend more time together now. I think we just see life differently and have grown apart in the past few years. I appreciate your suggestions and would like to hear if someone has similar experience in a family with kids. We have another update.
I think you could potentially, if you guys are that well off, I think you could potentially get a fairly good amount of money in the divorce
Yeah.
if you got a good enough lawyer. And you would definitely get some child support if he's traveling all the time.
I would hope so. Well, obviously it sounds like she's mainly in Australia.
Yeah, I think that you could work this out. Talk to a lawyer. In general, it sounds like you guys are just not a fit.
Yeah.
And now it's reached a point where he's messaging these other girls and also doesn't see a problem with it.
Yeah, I'd call him out. I'd
Yeah,
fully
I
be
think you
like,
could.
listen, I'm not stupid. What's with the girls?
Yeah.
Update 2. For my post earlier this week about my husband, he is back from his trip. I told him that he can't go back to his meetings overseas until at least next year. This is a very busy time before Christmas and the end of the school year. Plus, I feel we need to try to work on our relationship before making a bigger decision. I told him I am not continuing without couples counseling, something he never believed in. This is also a reason why I wasn't diagnosed with postpartum depression when I needed. I booked our first appointment. For people suggesting divorce and moving back to my country, this is my country as well. I am a citizen, my kids were born here, English is their first language, and they go to school here. We love our city and have a couple of good friends here. Back in my homeland, I only have family who also go through things. I consider my current place home. The stress of moving, looking for a job, and changing the kids' routine there will be more. I know it will be hard to find a job and become more independent, but I can do it for my kids if I need.
Yeah. I think that's like step one is find job here.
Good call. Surprisingly, I have the support of my parents, in-law, and brother-in-law, who have taken care of me better than all 3 of my own brothers. Surprisingly for you guys, there's even more episodes with full stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts, search up OK Storytime. Just a little bit more.
Sure is. Sure
Sounds
is.
like she's got the plans, though. Get that job.
Yeah.
Get your own little routine life down.
That's the thing. I think that because you are more dependent on your partner, I think before you go the route of divorce and come out and say, I'm done with this, you get your affairs in order. You make sure that you have a place where, or you're in a place where you have the lawyer you need in the event that you get a divorce. You have a job that supports you and could support your kids. Yeah, I think you just make a plan. Is there more to that story?
There is.
There sure is.
Half of everything is already in my name for tax purposes, but with this new thing this year, we put everything on red. We will see if we lose everything and become bankrupt, or
Whoa.
if everything works out and we achieve our goals.
Oh my goodness. What? I thought you
That's-
guys were like super wealthy.
I thought you were already living the life,
Dubai
the fancy
lifestyle.
life.
That's what you said. Is the Dubai lifestyle also we go bankrupt next year?
Apparently so.
Probably meant like the Dubai chocolate.
We're nice and gooey in the inside.
Another thing is that I am willing to work on our relationship if I know he puts in as much effort as I do. Before this, we were best friends, good partners, and understood each other with all basic values and beliefs on the same page. We started family and business together from zero. He always says that his success is my success. Together, we built our little empire. I am inside and he is outside. I am not ready to throw it all away. I put so much into it. I know that after the hardest year, more successful times may follow. And that is the end of that story.
Sure is. I mean, if you wanted to have a conversation with him, you can
Yeah.
to discuss, like, hey, you can't be doing this. This is how I feel about this. And if he
Yeah.
continues to be like, well, it's fine. It's not even a big deal. And
Stand
like,
by call
yeah.
now.
yeah.
And how young were these women? You never said
Yeah.
that.
You never said. You said young girls.
That's a very alarming thing to say.
It's an alarming phrase. But we've got another story.
Yeah.
We'll see if it's the same amount of alarming.
I hope
Could be
not.
more, could be less.
I hope not.
We will see. My wife removes her wedding ring when going golfing.
Does that get in the way of golf?
I, 35 male, just found out tonight that my wife, 35 female of 5 years, has been at the minimum having an emotional affair for the last 5 months behind my back.
Oh no.
By the way, this comes from Snap Crackle Ad Hoc, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia,
I'm Carly.
I'm Keon.
and we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, I'm active duty military and coming off a pretty long period of underway time with a job that allows pretty much zero contact back home. That is tough. That's tough on any relationship. I left earlier this year with what to me felt like a pretty happy marriage. We bought our dream home back in 2023 that was perfect for my 2 stepkids, and overall there was a lot of love between the 2 of us. Distance with my job and her being so busy with hers made it hard along with trying to raise 2 kids, but I never felt like there were any major issues we couldn't work through. I got home and things immediately felt different. The loving and caring wife I thought I knew was distant and not opening up to me at all. For those who don't know, this is pretty common in military marriages after deployments or time away, so I just figured she was adjusting to me being back home. A couple weeks went by and I noticed she was sleeping on the couch more and on her phone more often than ever before. After about a month being home, I finally spoke up and said something felt off around a nice backyard fire one night. She agreed with me and we talked a lot over some drinks and agreed that we needed to work on each other. At this point, I was happy with the outcome and thought together we would work through this. I tried to become more attentive to her, take things off her plate, do the cooking and cleaning, and let her have some hobbies. She recently took up golf, and I was really happy she found something she really liked to do. We also still played on a local softball team with friends when we could. Fast forward to last week, and we're sitting around another fire talking, and she brings up that she just doesn't see us working out anymore. Lots of, it's not you, it's me. I've tried to get back to where we were, and I don't want you to hate me. At this point, the feeling in my stomach sinks, and I go into full panic mode. I suggest marriage counseling, spicing up our bedroom life, and any other thing I can do to save everything we worked so hard for. Then my gut starts kicking in, and I can't help but ask the question, is there someone else? I got hit with a quick draw, of course not! I'd never do that to you. I believed her. She had never given me a reason not to.
That's crazy that she's giving you the, it's not you, it's me,
Yeah.
or like, I wish we can go back to the way we
Yeah.
were, but like, are you seeing somebody else?
No! Me? See someone else? No.
I would never do that to
Yeah.
you.
Her voice keeps going up octaves. He's like, I can't even hear you. You're too far out of range. Some more days go by, and I schedule marriage counseling for us. Surprise her with flowers at work, take her to lunch, just try to be a good husband and supportive in her feelings. Sunday, she goes golfing with some friends and comes back without her rings on. I immediately say something, but she assures me that she takes them off for golf and forgot to put them on after.
Which, from all of our lovely chat people here, I have learned is a very common thing to do.
Well, I figured with the gloves, yeah, but I don't think that's the case here.
No, so I
Yeah.
agree with you, but everybody's also like, yeah, I don't wear mine.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
I
But,
think it's gonna be a little bit more to this story, but
yeah, I
but-
think in this case, I
But
think she's
normally,
taking them off.
apparently, this is fine. So
It's
if
totally
your
fine.
next partner also takes her rings off at golf,
Don't worry about it.
it might be not the same thing.
Yeah, I looked it up. It says golfers take off rings, especially wedding rings, for comfort.
You can potentially deglove your finger.
Yeah.
Ow.
Ooh. To prevent
that.
injury, like getting caught, and to avoid damage to the ring or club during the swing. Yeah,
Nice.
I can see that making a lot of sense.
I did sleep on the couch that night because my stomach was tossing and turning, and I felt like I was going crazy. My marriage was falling apart, and all I got was cliche lines about it not being me and a cold, distant wife 90% of the time. My gut was trying to tell me what my heart and mind didn't want to admit. Fast forward to tonight. She gets home, and I'm making dinner for my stepdaughter after a workout. Still no ring. I text her an idea my therapist gave me to try different modes of communication, and it works. I get more out of her tonight than I did in 2 months. I'm spilling my heart out over text, trying not to break down in front of our stepdaughter, and she's basically telling me that she's uncomfortable in our marriage and she can't see us getting back to good ever. It's crazy because while she's texting all this directly across from me, there's really no sadness in her face at all. It really broke me. Y'all are having
Yeah.
a conversation over text
That's wild.
in the same room while your stepdaughter's there?
I also, like, I don't think that it's very uncommon that she would be the calm one that's, like, okay with everything. Like, she's the one that ended things. She
Yeah.
pre-mourned everything.
This is a wild way to have a conversation about
Yeah,
this.
and the fact that from this story, OP, that we're getting, it's always you trying to work things out. It's
Yeah.
you trying to find
It's
a
not
compromise.
trying.
Never her.
I ended up going to the shower and just kind of sulked while she did some stuff with my stepdaughter. Something about this point just doesn't make sense to me. I've never checked her phone before, but I decided to check the phone call or message log on her phone accounts. At first, nothing stuck out, but then I saw text messages or picture messages from a number at inappropriate times in the last month's log. There were also 40 to 60-minute phone calls daily to that same number as well. I went back into September and it was happening there too. Literally 3 a.m. text on the day I got home next to me in bed. I tracked over 12,000 messages and phone calls going all the way back to about a month after I left. The worst part was I knew the number. It was a friend of ours from the softball team that we play on that I literally had just gone out for drinks with a couple weeks back. What kind of like psychopathy do you have to
Go out normally.
go out normally with the person whose wife you're cheating with? There were 40-minute phone calls after our lunch from the other day, and God knows what else. At this point, I was furious, and my anger took over when I should have remained cool, calm, and collected. I asked her to come to the bedroom and send the kids to bed so we could talk some more. When she got in there and sat on the bed, I demanded to see the text messages between them. Her face panicked, and she quickly took off into our bathroom. When she came out, she handed me the phone, and I couldn't find any messages between them.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
Shocker.
What were you doing in the bathroom?
Wow.
What were you
really
doing in the
needed
bathroom?
Your phone in there?
That's like crazy.
Like, at that point, though, is when I start to just look at people and I go, do you think I'm dumb?
Yeah, do you think I'm an idiot? Nothing at all. What? I looked at Facebook Messenger and saw some flirty texts going back to November 10th, but everything before that was deleted. I handed her the phone back and asked if she just deleted them. And she said, yeah. Why delete them then? They must be really bad if she had
it's
to
probably
delete them
more so
and
like,
admits.
I'll admit that they're there, but you can't read the
Yeah.
content.
At this point, I realized that I could look at the deleted message log, but she refused to give me the phone back. When I asked why, all she could say was, it's too personal.
My God.
Too personal to share with your husband, but not with what I assume is now your new boyfriend? She swears there was nothing physical between them or anything spicy at all. I don't believe you. I literally have never believed anyone less. And then when I explained to her what an emotional affair was and how this was blatantly one, she played stupid and acted like she had a light bulb moment and just came
God.
to the realization that it was.
I need to see the bad acting of that.
Opie goes, okay, well, if it wasn't spicy affair, it was an emotional one. She's like, emotional?
She goes,
What's an
my-"
emotional
She goes,
affair?
oh my gosh, you're right. That was bad. You know what?
I had an
affair?
I
you were
feel
right.
so bad.
I haven't heard of that before.
Emotional?
Emotional.
Emotional?
Emotional?
What about
it's
the emo-
not- It's not.
There's an
That's
ocean
what
that's
it
emo?
is.
I didn't know that.
I
I didn't
think
know
because
that.
I didn't
Don't look at my
actually
phone.
know that that was a thing.
It doesn't
count.
We argued some more, and she kind of did the usual nervous laugh and emotionless face she's been doing. I told her I wanted a divorce, and we need to start working on selling this house.
Good for you.
Nice. Whether it's an emotional affair or physical, it really doesn't matter. She had me believing I was losing my mind for nearly 2 months while she was investing all her time and interest into another person that we both know well. On top of that, she then had the nerve to tell me I never text her and that this guy is basically her best friend.
Okay,
You
then
stink.
go head on over to him.
This woman stinks.
You're both stinky.
Stinkers. Between losing what I thought was my partner in crime for life and these kids having their lives uprooted because she decided to cheat, I'm honestly more heartbroken for the kids. She's already guilting me about the kids having to leave their home when we were talking about selling the home.
She's saying, "Oh no, you can't do that to the kids." I'm like, "Oh no, you can't do that."
Oh, no.
I can't
the
do
family.
that to the
We were
kids.
text arguing in the same room as the kids.
Yeah.
Now you're concerned?
Now it's too much.
Ooh, I like Christina's snatch the phone and call the guy right there with her on the phone.
For what
Yeah,
at that
I don't
point,
know.
though?
I
I
mean,
don't
you
know,
don't need
you
more.
have
You
all
don't
the
need more
proof.
proof.
I think you have all the proof.
Clear, like to me, it does sound. We know you have enough proof. It does sound like the content of that might have just been more
think
than you needed to be reading.
That's the thing. I think that it was probably just incredibly explicit.
Right. Which I would then agree that it was better that you did not see it.
I agree. You already know she cheated.
You know.
Update. Just wanted to give an update to all the kind people of Reddit that gave me advice and support. I didn't take anyone's advice on here lightly and made sure to read each comment and create a game plan for the 2 days I had prior to Turkey Day. Some of you were harsh and blunt, but made me realize how decisive I needed to be before my feelings began to affect my decision making. To the person that suggested reading Leave a Cheater, Gain a Life, thank you so much. That book has already shown me so many signs I missed over the last 2 months and helped navigate all the gaslighting that occurred during the past few days. Now to the plan. The very next day, I was actually able to sit down and meet with a lawyer. Great. After discussing the entire situation with them, I was advised to come up with a set of terms I would like to see in the divorce. I needed to have a few things I was willing to give up and talk to my soon-to-be ex-wife to turn this into an uncontested event if possible. The amount of money it would save in the long run when attempting to sell our home and split assets was not something I could pass up. I also scheduled myself an urgent appointment with my therapist for the coming week. That evening, we had a conversation that was completely limited to our assets and how we planned to move through this divorce. I did my best to keep my emotions out of everything and be cold-hearted on the outside. Unfortunately, on the inside, I felt awful. A nice Redditor reached out to me and told me I needed to grieve my wife as if she passed away whenever this affair started. And the person in front of me is some evil monster who possessed her body that I have to mentally fight with. Great advice, but hard to do in the moment.
Yeah.
Long story short, there was only one disagreement on my list, but we worked that out. The very next day, I had the lawyers start drafting up everything and had realtors at the house. Now, I'd like to say I maintain my cool and have been gray rocking as suggested since this all started, but today was hard. We all had these plans for Thanksgiving, and to watch them be blown up by all this was pretty heartbreaking. Putting away all the Christmas decorations that were taken out was a huge punt in the nether region. I caved and had a conversation with her that was probably not beneficial, but at least opened my eyes some more. I asked so many questions and got a lot of what seemed to be fair answers, but it didn't make me feel better. There's still complete denial of anything physical, but admitted to an emotional connection with our friend. Lots of statements about how she understands how bad our reaction was when deleting the text, but she just didn't want me to see the connection she had because it would hurt me worse. I also asked her about a few times when she was supposed to be hanging out with a friend, but when I asked the friend about it over the past 2 days, they said they never hung out. Wow, the liar lied? Shock. She couldn't really explain other than saying she just thought I'd be mad if she told me she was staying out to drink with other friends. Lastly, I asked if she thought there was any chance we could work this out, and with zero to little emotion, I got a hard no. After that conversation was over, I looked at her call logs again. She had been on the phone with this guy for nearly 4 hours over the past 3 days. Girl can't even wait until you guys have settled that marriage,
She
divorce,
couldn't even wait until
separation.
they started the
Yeah,
divorce.
You guys haven't even
She
started
started this
it?
6 months into them even knowing about a divorce. I certainly don't think that anyone that started this as cheating cares
Yeah.
about the ending.
No. I would have loved a 40-minute conversation over the last 2 months. It's painfully obvious she's choosing him over me, even though there are lots of statements like, I just want to be alone and raise my kids. Or, I'm not ready for any type of relationship right now. Are you sure?
Are you sure?
Because that sounds like a pretty bold-faced lie. I'm gonna say it again because I said placed. I'm so tired. That sounds like a pretty bold-faced lie.
There you go.
I got it on the second time. You're making me tired, OP's wife, because of your BS. But I'm not BSing you guys about how many full episodes of stories just like this you can listen to and watch. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
No, you know that your wife sucks.
Your wife's
ex-wife
stinky.
sucks. She's the worst.
PU. I can smell her feet from over here. She's the worst. There is a little bit left to this story, but I'm glad OP's on the train of I'm divorcing my wife.
Divorce.
But there is a little bit left. So this is it for a little while, unless she changes her mind about assets, until we can sell the house and I can get the heck out of here for good. I've been having this recurring dream when I can sleep where she's driving the family somewhere erratically, almost getting into an accident before getting to the destination. When we get there, she always has some medical emergency where I'm screaming for help, but no one is coming. I'm sure my therapist is going to have a field day with that.
I'm sure.
Anyway, I'm going to continue to be the best male role model I can for these kids while I'm here. I don't know if I'm going to update this again, but I can't say it enough. Thank you to every stranger that gave me support when I needed it more than ever. And that is the end of that story, folks. But yeah, good luck, OP.
Good luck.
It's a really tough situation.
Yikes.
And you have kids.
Yikes, yikes, yikes.
Tough all around.
I slept with my BFF's father, and I don't know how to tell her.
Now, why'd you go and do that?
When I, 20 female, was a little kid, my POS parents got divorced, and I ended up with my mom, and we moved back to her home state. Somehow we managed to live with my grandparents, who were not POS people. By the way, this comes from Deleted, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. As OP says, I was thrown into a school with total strangers, and I was given mountains of crap for talking funny because I was born and raised in the South and was now living in New England. The first person to decide to be nice to me was my friend Kate, 20 female. Kate quickly became my BFF, and we have been BFFs ever since. Because my mom is an awful piece of human garbage, I spent as much time as possible with Kate and her family over the years. Not only was I accepted by them, but eventually I started to look at them as the family I always thought a family should be.
And she started to look at her friend's dad like, wow,
Well,
maybe
you
I
don't
could
look like family.
I could maybe even be closer to this family.
I'd be
Maybe she's-
really close to this family.
she's talking to her
Hey,
friend.
Kate, would you like a new mom?
I thought I should just be your mom now.
I've always
Kate's
seen
like,
you as like
"What?"
a daughter figure.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I've always
you know
seen
what?
you as a daughter.
We've always had this close relationship.
Let's make it closer.
By high school, I was calling Dawn, 46 male, and Joan, Kate's parents, also not real names, mom and dad, respectively.
Wait, sorry, you've been calling him dad since high school?
She calls him something else now.
Genuinely, if this is going where I think it's going, that sounds like her dad groomed you.
Yeah. They always welcomed me into their home. I always had food, a place to stay, you name it.
Yeah, well, the only other thing I can name, I don't want to name.
They even took me with them on a couple of family vacations. I love this family with all my heart.
There's a limit to
But
how
who do
much
you
you
love
can
the
love them.
most? Who do you love the most?
Who's your favorite?
The story takes a turn for the strange in 2018 when, after Kate and I graduated high school, I was here my age, and Dawn and Joan had no more kids in the house as they were all on their own or in college, Joan decided to come out of the closet as a sapphic, admit to an affair that had lasted the entire time they
Whoa.
were married, and file for a divorce.
Joan!
That was a wild
I'm
turn.
changing my major to
I really was gonna be like, dang, I hope OP didn't like cheat, like have an
Yeah, no,
affair
no,
with
no,
her dad.
don't worry.
Joan took care of it.
Joan. We've got a... I'm blanking. What's that from?
I have no idea. I know I'm changing my major to Joan.
It's from a musical, and I'm blank. I've seen the musical.
It's a dude singing it.
No. It's
It's
a
not?
girl. That's
Oh.
why I made the joke,
A
because
dude
it's about...
saying it at the Jimmy's this year.
Oh,
I'm
no.
Googling
Changing My
it.
Major to Joan is about a young, queer, like, lesbian girl who... This is her girlfriend. She's singing about her girlfriend. So it really fits, but I can't remember what it's from.
I'm sure you can imagine that Dawn, Kate, her brothers, and well, everybody was devastated. Kate went off to college in California, and neither of her brothers were around, and so Dawn was kind of on his own.
And he needed some comfort.
Since I wasn't going to further my education and was basically staying in town, I promised my BFF I would make sure her dad was okay.
No.
Look in on him often and all of that.
This isn't what she meant. Stop.
Well, I tried community college and that didn't work out. But I got lucky and my grandma pulled in a favor and got me a job as a teller in one of the local banks. So I was at least somewhat productive in society. I'd called Don and texted him a few times to check on him, but things got crazy last summer.
No.
I literally ran into him at the grocery store one afternoon after work. I saw what he was buying and it made me super sad. It was like all the single bachelor tropes all in one.
I'm just imagining his cart is full of ramen.
Oh, I was fully going microwave mac and cheese.
Oh, I was seeing just full ramen.
Frozen dinner meals.
It's
Frozen
stacked
dinner
with
meals,
it's half.
a
It's
6-pack of
frozen.
beer, maybe
yeah,
a 12
yeah,
pack
a
of
big
beer.
thing of soda.
Yeah, it's chips, frozen dinner, ramen, and beer, and that's it. That's all he had in the cart. And she said, "Wow, this sad man is really hot.
He said,
He's
she
so."
said, dang.
This is
if
kinda
only
turning
we
me
could
on.
Share one of those TV dinners
Yeah,
together.
she's like, "Oh my god,
Dawn."
he's so pathetic."
So, being the good BFF that I am,
No, you're not.
I insisted that Dawn buy some actual food and that I'd go over to his place after work on Friday and make him a home-cooked meal.
Okay, without the title of the story,
I still
Sweet.
think this is weird.
It's still kind of weird.
I don't know.
Genuinely, if I mean, OP has bad parents, but if I were OP's parent and had a good relationship with OP, I'd be like, what? My 22, 23-year-old daughter
yeah,
is having dinner with adult man who just got divorced alone? I think this is maybe daddy issues.
Do you maybe think that one?
I think this may be daddy issues.
I only took 1 year of psych, but I think I've been cooking since I was young. I kind of had to learn. And we both agreed that he needed it. So Friday came around and I went over and I cooked him a nice chicken parm dinner. We had fun visiting for a bit and I went home feeling good about myself. We agreed to do this every week.
Hate that. I hate this.
Next week after dinner, he asked if I'd stay for a bit to hang out.
Ugh. Do you know what this reminds me of?
No.
Juno, the movie.
How does this?
Have you
Oh.
seen Juno?
I've seen.
I haven't
Juno.
seen
Yeah.
Juno in forever though, but yeah.
I was like, what do you mean? How does this? That's what this reminds me of.
So we fired up Xfinity on demand and got cozy on the couch.
Ah! OP just wants a father figure so bad.
She's getting a
But
daddy.
she doesn't
Got a
understand
dad
what a
and
father
a daddy.
figure.
She's getting a daddy
No.
figure.
No!
I don't know exactly what led to this next part to happen,
What do you
but
mean?
it happened.
What do you mean you know what led to it?
Maybe
You saying, let me freaking cook for you every day.
maybe it was the love scene in what we were watching.
Ugh.
I don't know.
I'm
You
sorry.
guys watched a movie with a love scene and you consider this your dad and you were fine with this?
I'm sorry.
And that led
What?
you to this?
Y'all are crazy.
All I know is that he seemed super lonely. And I felt bad for
Oh
him.
my gosh.
So I initiated things and gave him a spicy act.
Ah.
When I left that night, things were a little awkward, but we decided to continue our Friday dinner tradition.
Genuinely, this is, I'm just going to give my, if I'm this friend. First of all, I'm disgusted by my dad. I'd be like, Dad, you're a little awful person. I don't care how lonely you were. This is a person that you've known since she was a child. Gross. And then I'm going to my best friend and I'm saying, don't literally ever come over here ever again. I don't ever want to. Don't call.
Don't text.
Don't come by my house.
house.
We're done.
It's just the fact that she admitted that she initiated it.
And also,
Which
The
might be
power
better out of the two
dynamics?
situations, but
this is maybe getting too into the weeds, but I think the power dynamics of it not being actual full-on spicy sleep, but just being this specific act.
no, I think
Oh, don't worry.
Don't worry.
Oh, we're getting there.
The next week after the movie, he asked if I could stay around a little longer.
Ugh.
I ended up staying the night, and that was when we first had spicy sleep.
No, I hate this sentence.
The Friday night dinner became Friday night dinner and spicy sleep. And that lasted 8 or 9 weeks. Then we started being more open about what we were doing. Going out to eat during the week. Going to a movie or shopping. All that stuff. Despite a lot of people we know giving us side eye for it.
Yeah!
How small is your town?
Yeah! I'm sorry, do you know how much
You
side eye
sound
I'm
like
giving like
Toad.
the 60-year-old with the 18-year-old? And I'm like, is that her dad or are they on a date?
Yeah.
That's a constant
Do you
thing
guys
that
at least
happens.
walk around like it's just like dad and daughter, or are you guys like holding hands?
Yeah. Dude, whenever I'm with my dad, I'm constantly like, me and my dad. This is me and my dad. Because I
the
feel
need to clarify it that much.
yeah. Because I feel like people are so weird about when you go. I'm always weird.
I can't
I'm
say I
always-
share that. Do you not look like your dad a lot?
I look exactly like my dad. But also people think that I like have they say the same thing with my brother. So I think people are just weird in general. My point of this is though that this is really weird and you should be getting side eye because it's weird, especially if they said people we know are giving us side eye, or is it just like in the town?
No, just a lot of people.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense.
All the while, I was keeping everything a secret from Kate, my BFF. Fast forward to the vid, and that, combined with my lack of ability to judge friends well, resulted in my roommates bailing on me and leaving me on the hook for our entire apartment. I got lucky in that our landlord let me out of the lease, but that put me in a spot. I was going to have to move back in with my mother. I was desperate to avoid that. And then Don stepped in and saved me. Kind of. He asked me to move in with him. I did. And we've been living as a couple ever since.
Dawn is maybe like evil.
Do we have the initial ages again?
I'll check.
Recently, Don has stopped using a wiener wrapper
Oh,
when
good to
we
know.
have spicy sleep.
Ah!
And he's asked me to quit taking birth control too.
Ah!
He says he wants to marry me
Ah!
and
Ah!
start a family and the whole deal. And now I'm wondering,
Ah!
how the F do I tell Kate about this?
Okay, OP. Stop! Stop it! Stop! Wait.
No.
OP, how old is he?
46.
Yeah.
OP's 20.
OP's 20 right now?
No, I think that was earlier in the story, though.
No,
and then
but
they were friends
because
for a while.
this might be an old story.
Because again,
Well, no,
OP
I
was
think-
18 when they graduated high school.
Right,
When was the
which
story
is when those
posted?
ages were said, though.
Wait. When was the story posted, Keon? Oh my god.
I'm pretty sure she was a. Oh yeah, wait, because
That's what I'm saying.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait.
I know.
She's my age currently.
5 years ago.
Ah,
OP.
she's 20.
She's 20 right now. OP, you have been groomed.
Ah.
I'm gonna go talk to you straight. This is a person that you call dad, and then he started inviting you, whether or not you initiated, like, oh, do you want to have dinner? He accepted. He should have said no. He is an adult. He should have said no. This is a person who is a daughter figure in my life. This is my child's best friend. No.
How did we get to now he wants you to have your BFF step sibling?
And then your friend is going to find out anyway, but
I think that friendship with Kate's done.
it's done. She is going to cut off her father and you.
Well, I will say there could be the one way where if Kate comes by and tries to just knock some sense into OP and it works,
Yeah.
then I could see it being like a you got
Yeah.
me out of that situation kind of thing.
But Kate would have to get through, like, being like, oh my God, you and my dad. Like, she would have to get through that
Yeah.
to realize
I don't
my
think
dad
she's
is
your
in the
friend
wrong.
anymore.
I would not be friends. Oh my goodness.
Yes, this was 5 years ago.
Yeah,
'cause
to be
they
clear,
mentioned
OP
the vid and everything.
Has known him since she was little, called him dad because at a certain point her parents were awful and she spent all of her time there. And now she is 20 years old and having a relationship with this father figure in her life who has now asked her, they're not married, to go off birth control.
And to get married. He
And
says
to-
he
well,
wants
yeah.
to marry me and start a family.
But he's preemptively
Oh yeah,
doing
he's
this.
already trying to start the one.
Your friend's dad is a creep, as Shawnee OP says.
I love Kate on so many levels.
No, you don't. Well, you might.
You love her dad more.
Honestly, I don't even like fully fault you because you were so deeply being manipulated in this situation. But anyway.
And I don't want to lose her. But I'm terrified that she'll be mad.
Mad?
I don't know if I can give up Dawn to keep Kate, though. I do know that I'd pass away a little inside if I stayed with Dawn, and that ruined his relationship with his daughter, though.
P, there's no saving that relationship.
You should have thought about that way before.
You should have thought about that when
any
you
of this.
initiated the first act.
Genuinely, it doesn't matter if you stay with him or if you don't. You are not getting that friendship back. Unless Kate is the most understanding.
Nah, there's no saving grace from this. Sorry.
I know this is a you want your cake and eat it too moment.
This is your cake is rancid. Leave. You're going to get food poisoning moment.
But what's the point of having the cake if you can't eat the effing thing? Please, someone, anyone, give me some idea about how to proceed, please. And we have an update
Redditors.
1 week later.
Reddit, please save her.
So, I was awake late into the night after making the post and reading everyone's comments. I appreciate everyone who weighed in with something other than reminding me that I'm a horrible, effed up piece of crap as a person. I had come to that conclusion on my own, but it was nice to have it verified, so thanks. I want to get better. The day after posting, I was visibly bothered by deep thoughts at work, and one of my coworkers was concerned and asked me what was bothering me. So, I told her the whole story. Together, we looked into if my insurance would cover therapy. It does, and even with the vid making it a video chat only kind of deal, I started yesterday at lunch.
Thank God for that coworker. Genuinely, thank God. You need massive amounts of therapy.
I spent Friday night down at the shore. Are you from down at the shore?
What?
That's what we call where I'm from.
God,
And
she's
you
very-
graduated the same year as me. Do I know you?
I don't know. Do you know anyone who did it?
I don't know. At my grandpa's house so that I could be somewhere that I love and feel safe for the next part. I called Kate. And by the way, I'll call you guys to go listen to more full episodes of stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcast, search up OK Storytime. There's a little bit left.
Oh, man.
Any predictions?
Well, I think that your
And they
friendship
live
is going
happily
to
ever
end.
after.
I think your friendship's going to end. And I'm really hopeful that your therapist tells you, hey, girl, you've been groomed, and kind of explains that before she has a kid with this creep.
It went like anyone would expect. No lies. Worst conversation I've ever had. I told her when it was all said and done that I wasn't expecting her to ever forgive me, as I don't know if I deserve it. She knows that I'm not there anymore, and I'm going to try my hardest to put as much distance as possible between me and her family ASAP. I ended the call by telling her that I won't be initiating contact anymore. I'm going to give her all the space and time that she needs, even if that means I'll never talk to her again. I really do love her more than life itself, and I hope that we can eventually recover, but I doubt we will. This is my own fault, and I'm trying to take accountability here, and that is the end of that story.
It seems like she's leaving him.
Yeah. It seems like coworker did the
Yeah.
most and was like, no, girl, that's not you. Like,
Yeah. It seems like Reddit actually kind of, and also probably mostly this coworker, but Reddit kind of catalyzed this.
yeah.
And that's amazing.
Honestly, go Reddit, go coworker.
I'm very glad that you are getting help and you're getting out of this situation. And I think everything that you're doing is the right steps.
Yeah. And I think like saying that to Kate and then saying like line will always be open, but I will not reach out is like the perfect thing to be doing too.
OP, did you make good decisions in the story? No. Were you a 20-year-old being manipulated by a grown man who's known you since you were a child? Probably so. That is fully his responsibility in that moment to be like, hey, we need to create a line here because you are my daughter's best friend and also a person that I've referred to as my daughter. But that's the end of that story, and we've got some comments from the video. My wife had a wild phase before marriage, and now I feel left out. And this was posted October 9th, 2025. TLDR is OP's wife had a wild past, but now their bedroom life is super calm. OP never got to have those experiences and suddenly feels like he missed out. When he finally tells his wife, she's shocked, cries, and things get emotional fast. Now everything in their marriage feels shaky and it's clear the story isn't over. If you're curious to know the full story, you can go watch the full video. Let's hear what you guys have to say.
First comment by AndyCamp4049 says, husband is very insecure with his wife's past as much as he says otherwise. From past experiences, this will most likely not end well. And yeah.
No,
And I don't think it did.
Unless it was the other story, in case that
I was going to say, I think I also read both stories.
There were two
with
stories,
you.
and one of them had a good ending.
One of them did not have a good ending.
Yeah. So go find the full video.
Yeah.
You'll
Let
find
us
out.
know.
I don't know if it's a good ending.
Amy's Happy Hobby says, okay, two things. I think either his wife is not that attracted to him, or she's very ashamed of her past and feels grossed out about it. And again, feels ashamed, so she doesn't want to revisit that. However, there needs to be an open line of direct communication, and I've been in this situation. I grew up and spicy sleep was disgusting and gross, blah, 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 blah. I met my husband, and I was so attracted to him, and we had the best spicy sleep. Also, years later, I ended up with mental health issues and addictions, and I did not like him for a while. I took responsibility for my mental health and my addictions, but for about 2 years, I was so ashamed of my past before I met my husband. I was very insecure about that, and I just felt really grossed out. But I continued to work on myself, and now there's no shame. My husband and I are back to the best spicy sleep ever. I just don't see a wife who is so attracted to her husband, who literally shut down everything, and does not even try anything with him. To me, that's kind of weird. However, though, I don't know how far he is trying to go. But I think that she could give a little, and he could give a little. I also think that if he felt like he was desired by her, and they had more spontaneous actions, maybe it would make things better. But I wouldn't want to do all kinds of crazy things, but I enjoy the things that I do with my husband. Okay.
Yeah.
We have a comment here by Steph is back. Story 1. My soon-to-be husband's ex-wife left him so she could explore her spicy life, saying she married him too soon before she got to see what was out there. While on the other hand, my best friend married her husband, who was her first everything, and they're in the best relationship I've ever seen. Yes, they've had their ups and downs, but they're going strong and will continue to do so.
This feels like the end of a sitcom episode, or maybe the beginning. They're
Yeah.
like, but that's the end of those comments and the end of this episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow. Hey, don't leave yet. We've got some stories that we think you'll enjoy, so stay tuned for the next one. My sister accused me of stealing her boyfriend's. Now her husband won't leave me alone.
Steal him too.
When I was in college, I had a rough patch with my sister, Gabrielle, and we were both very mean and vindictive to each other. It started with an inheritance that was rightfully hers that my parents made her split with me. Long story short, she became resentful of having to share her money with me and kept track of every dollar I spent. By the way, this comes from Blarg. What now? And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. She even reported to my parents anytime I went out drinking with friends or doing anything I shouldn't be doing, just so she could say, see, I told you we shouldn't have given her the money. I was 20 years old at the time and very resentful of having what felt like a PI intruding on my life and making my parents constantly yell at me. So I did the immature thing and kissed her boyfriend one Thanksgiving or Christmas, can't even remember. 2 years later, when my sister and my relationship was improved but not perfect, we got in a petty fight before her birthday. And I wound up flirting with her boyfriend as some kind of immature revenge. I remember the cringe faces my friends made at me for basically grinding with Gabrielle's boyfriend on the dance floor that night, and I'm still completely embarrassed of that memory, even though it was 5 years ago. Fast forward to now, my sister and I have a good relationship as we are both adults with confidence, stable careers, etc. It helps that we did not see each other as much before because I moved across the country for several years. I've since moved back to the city close to our hometown where my sister lives, and we have resumed weekly or bi-monthly dinners with the family on Saturdays or Sundays. 4 dinners ago, my mom was remarking on the state of our relationship now and commenting on how silly it was that we used to get on so poorly. My sister joked that I was a crappy human being then and I'm not now. Her husband, Nick, reacted strongly to crappy human beings, so in defense of her word choice, my sister revealed the thing about me kissing her boyfriend once and then grinding on another years later. It was a bit uncomfortable, but we all laughed and went on with the rest of the night. But since that dinner, I noticed Nick starting to flirt with me. I fear, OP, this is a boy who cried wolf situation. It sucks that Nick is flirting with you and you probably aren't going to flirt with him, hopefully. But I fear you've done it 2 times, and on the 3rd, people aren't going to believe you when you say that you weren't flirting with him.
Yeah, and you set yourself up.
I can't even explain some of the moments because they were wordless, but I'll list the most blatant offenses below. That night, we were watching TV, and he said I looked like a certain actress on TV who in that scene happened to be wearing a very revealing outfit. It felt a little weird, but I figured I was the one being weird because he said it in front of my sister and she didn't flinch. Next time, he came to hang in my room while mom and sister cooked downstairs. He has done this once or twice before, but this time kept looking for pictures of my college days because he wanted to see what I looked like back when I was seducing Gabrielle's boyfriends. He caught me going through my favorite fitness Instagrams, lots of booty shots, I'll admit, and asked if I was watching porn. I said no, and he exaggerated a disappointed expression and said, "Let me know if you are."
Okay,
There are more, but say what you gotta say.
At first, I was like, that's not necessary. Like saying like, oh, you look like an actress.
That. He could have gotten away with that one.
Even the second one, which was like hanging out in your room, if he's done it before,
sure,
if it's normal, but
no, yeah.
No.
After that one, there's more of these instances.
No.
So I'll keep going. He got too close to me in the kitchen, and I said, "You don't have to stand so close." To which he responded, "Is it okay if I do?" I said, "I preferred that he didn't." And he made a narrowed eye face at me as if to convey being skeptical. I flat out said, "Why are you being weird?" He didn't give me a real answer. I'm angry because he never really acted inappropriately around me before. We had a pretty good relationship and liked to talk about sports, movies, the like. I always felt he and my sister were a good match and that he was a good husband, but now it seems he heard a story and saw it as his green light to start messing with me. I feel he sees me as someone whose word against him would be invalid because of my history, and I want very badly to prove him wrong and just tell my sister and even parents what is happening. But I don't feel that any of his offenses thus far sound big enough to report to someone about. At the same time, I don't want to keep going to dinner and just waiting to be pestered in some way or another, just so I can point it out. I'm livid, and I'm a little embarrassed, and I don't know which way is best to approach the situation. I'm not comfortable telling anyone I know about this, so I appreciate any insight or advice. Edit, a lot is being made of the will. When I say rightfully, I mean legally. Grandmother wrote Gabrielle in because she was the older child, but it always referred to it as our money. Many years back, Dad asked Mom to have Grandma legally change it, and Mom went nuts on him, saying that it was ugly and not how our family worked. Grandma did not know about my or Gabrielle's rough patch or any of my poor behavior, so the will was certainly not written with that in mind. This hurts to say, but she passed away thinking we were perfect young women. And there is an update, but do you have any thoughts?
You gotta talk to that brother now, or the sister now.
Yes. Like, the thing is, yes, she might not believe you, but I think you need to go to your mom, go to your sister and say, "Hey, ever since that conversation, I've been feeling really, really uncomfortable. He's done this, this, and this. And I don't feel comfortable being around him."
100%. Because if it comes out from him,
yeah,
or if it comes out from someone else that it happened, it's like you said, you cried wolf. It's never gonna work.
And I honestly don't even think your sister will believe you when you say this. Like, be ready. I don't think she'll believe you. Maybe she will. Maybe she'll surprise us. But I think that you tell her right away. You tell the mom right away, and then every time you see him, or just even before that, every time you see him, you're far away from him. If he tries to get flirty, leave the room. Like, immediately. Like, do not put up with any of that.
Because also, after you tell her, they're going to be more aware of it.
Yes, exactly.
So they'll actually be watching for it, which so it could help your cause. I think you're still screwed, but...
Yeah. You got this, OP.
Go.
There is an update, though. Figured I'd write this for the people who asked for an update. Since writing my last post, I've been to one more dinner at my parents' house. I brought a family friend with me and asked her to keep an eye out for any funny behavior coming from Nick. I also hoped her presence would thwart any of his advances. I think a combination of my friend's presence and him being the one cooking that night made it so that he didn't talk to me much, which was great. Of course, there was still a weird moment, and it happened when I was grabbing wine from my parents' fridge in the garage. I had no idea Nick followed me, so I yelped when he said something. My sister called from the kitchen to ask what happened, and I said Nick scared me because he came out of nowhere. He said there's a joke to be made about that. I gave him a weird look, and he said, me coming out of nowhere. Clearly a spicy related thing. Yeah, pretty obviously. I ignored it and booked it out of the garage before he could do anything else. And for the rest of the night, that was it. My friend and I left early, and I said goodbye to everyone from the door, pretending to be in a rush. 2 days after that dinner, I woke up to way more Instagram notifications than I'm used to. I checked it, and it was one brand new account tagging me in a bunch of spicy sleep joke memes or spicy related pictures, a lot of them being women wearing wet t-shirts. There was also one of a woman in an S&M looking Catwoman outfit, and I was tagged along with the words, you in this. That's disgusting. Immediately suspected Nick. Didn't know how to approach it and didn't tag me in anything beyond that burst of 10 photos, so I didn't do anything about it. I told some friends, but wasn't sure what else I could really do. Later that week, I got a Facebook friend request from someone I didn't know. I recently created a new, for people I actually know, Facebook profile. Close friends and family I actually talked to and have seen recently. I don't get friend requests often anymore as I'm totally private and unsearchable. So this request was the only one that day and made me instantly suspicious. I thought it was some fake profile Nick made, but weirdly enough, I looked into this guy's profile and saw that he was a real person with real friends and a job. He is Googleable. I checked to see his high school or college to see if he was a friend of Nick's, and there were no schools listed, only current employment. Also, he lives in the Midwest in a state where I know no one. Most everyone I know lives on the East Coast. Anyway, I accepted the friend request and asked how this guy knew and found me. And the first thing I got back from him was a long and very explicit story using my name as the main character. Considering how he messaged it to me right away, it was clearly written already and waiting for me. I took a screenshot, blocked him instantly, and have since regretted it because I wish I could look at his profile and find his connection to Nick. Oh,
Well,
I feel so bad for OP because it feels like when, like, in a movie where, you know, the Invisible Man movie?
yes.
This is what it feels like, where she's going crazy,
Yeah.
thinking that he's everywhere,
And he like kind of is.
and he kind of is. Yeah,
My thing though is like,
Yeah.
is he, and I'm sure we'll find
Yeah.
out, getting friends in on this?
I feel like he might be, but also there's a chance that this is just like a weird Facebook, troll or something.
With her name in it though.
Well, you could probably get that
yeah.
from the Facebook. It depends on how much information they have
Yeah.
of you. Pretty weird though. Definitely take screenshots of everything that you get.
And
Send them to your friends, your family.
you might know Facebook better. Couldn't you just unblock him and find the connection to Nick?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, she was like, and I'm so mad that I blocked him so
him.
quickly. Unblock him.
Yeah, that you could just unblock him. That's a good point.
I get maybe the fear of like,
Yeah.
he'll send me more, but
Yeah.
just real quick.
Just real quick. Honestly, I feel like there was no way this isn't all Nick. Even if that wasn't his Facebook profile, I feel like it's someone he knows and he put him up to this. He and I have never talked about wet t-shirts or Catwoman, but I also don't know anyone else who would do it except him. But I don't know anyone else but you guys who can listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Do you have any final thoughts?
Part of me is like, gotta be Nick 100%.
Yeah.
But I think maybe he told a friend about it and was like, hey, this girl's
Yeah.
open to flirting.
Yeah.
So I don't think, maybe it's not directly
Ugh.
Nick, but maybe he's like passed her off to like a
Icky.
gross friend.
Yeah. I think what you should do is go to your mom, go to your sister, say, hey, I've been noticing these kind of weird, kind of uncomfortable things from Nick. Don't really like it. If you could talk to him about it. Like, even framing it in that way. 2, you don't even have to accuse Nick of the Facebook thing. Just say, look at this super creepy thing I got. I have no idea who this is. And just like literally show it.
Everything just needs to be out there in the world.
Just start telling them everything. You don't have to accuse Nick of anything.
Right.
But there's a little bit left to this story. So yeah, that's my update. I honestly have no idea if I have a move here at all, since everything happened mostly anonymously on social media. I've asked around about the Facebook guy and even asked Gabrielle, but no one knows that name. I have made excuses to avoid future dinners at my parents' home and will continue to do so. I'll see them on my own when Nick isn't around. There hasn't been any online pestering since then, but I won't be surprised if another incident pops up sometime soon. Not sure how and where it'll happen, but I'm hoping it will include a slip-up that points me towards Nick, because right now, I've got nothing. And that's the end of the story.
My husband and his mother are making me so crazy that I almost cheated.
That's a pretty bad excuse.
Hello. First, I would like to say that I come from an economically developed country in Asia, but the society here is still very patriarchal in its view of family and the women's roles within it and piety. The way I was raised influences the way I think and look at situations. It may be hard for others to understand, but that's just the way things are. By the way, this comes from G1TA. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. So, background. I will try to be brief with this. It is to provide context on the issues that exist that I describe later on. I met my husband, Sean, at university when I was 20 doing undergraduate while he was 28 and completing his doctorate. My major was English education, and I had planned to spend my last year of university abroad in either the US or UK. However, Sean told me he loved me, asked me to stay with him, and I did because I loved him too. I graduated and found work as a teacher's assistant at an elementary school. Sean finished his doctorate a few years later and began working as an assistant professor at our alma mater. We got married in 2010. My very wealthy in-laws bought us a gorgeous house as a wedding gift and paid for our honeymoon, during which I got pregnant. My husband and in-laws requested me to retire from work at least until our child started school. I agreed because 1, I wanted to spend as much time with the baby as possible, and 2, I was grateful to my in-laws for everything they'd done and wanted to follow their wishes. 3, it is commonplace in my country, and my mother had done the same for me. And 4, my in-laws offered to supply a monthly allowance to support our family. In 2011, my daughter was born. It was the happiest day of my life, and she grew into the most beautiful, sweet little girl. My husband worked around 50 to 60 hours per week, and it was tough, but I loved being with my daughter, and my in-laws and parents helped me a lot. In this time, my husband and I had some disagreements about his contributions to raising our daughter. The current issue. In 2014, my father-in-law passed away unexpectedly. The whole family took the death very harshly. My mother-in-law was very adamant about not living alone, and because my husband is the eldest son in the family, his mother became his responsibility. And so she moved in with us. Not long after, we enrolled my daughter in a preschool in the neighborhood. I was originally going to start job hunting around this time. However, because of my mother-in-law, I decided to delay going back to work so that she wouldn't be alone during the day, which is very nice. She was very curt and highly critical of me, but I endured it because I was grateful to her and my father-in-law and out of love for my husband. I was very kind and accommodating despite her behavior to me, as I thought she would get better as she grieved. But instead, she got progressively more controlling, manipulative, and generally malicious. Obvious disdain towards me started when I expressed that I wanted to return to work. She accused me of being ungrateful, trying to escape her, and not caring that she is left alone all day. Asking me if I expected her to do all the housework while my husband and I are both working. I decided to just commit to be a stay-at-home mom, as I thought that submitting to my mother-in-law would solve the problem, and it hasn't. For the past almost 5 years, my self-esteem has been chipped away at. and I feel like I'm at the end of the rope now. There are just too many things to write in this format, so I will just list some main points below. I gained around 33 pounds, 15 kilograms, after giving birth, and my mother-in-law constantly made comments about my weight and tried to restrict me from eating certain foods like rice and meats. I joined a city jogging club to get exercise, and because I myself wanted to lose a bit of baby weight, I lost 10 kilograms of the weight, but I haven't been able to keep off the last 5 kilograms, 11 pounds, but I am pretty tall, 5'7", and I like how the extra curves look on me. But my husband and mother-in-law still tell me that I'm overweight, even though medically I am far from an unhealthy body mass index.
I'm sorry, your husband is saying that too? Bye. Bye. You had a baby. You literally had a baby. You had a child. You had a child and your body changed.
After did an amazing thing.
Like, that's how bodies work.
Yeah, you never comment on that. He should never. Even if you didn't have a baby.
Yeah.
Mother-in-law is constantly making pointed comments about me, from my cooking to the way I do laundry, my weight, what I wear. For example, she accused me of trying to attract other men because I wear spandex leggings to jogging meets. She thinks it's inappropriate to wear a chiffon blouse only to the store, even though she can't go outside without being wrapped in designer brands. Or when I curl my hair before going out, she'll say, "Which man are you meeting today?" She often wonders out loud why I'm not good at anything of use. I heard my mother-in-law talking on the phone with someone about how I still have the trophy I received from winning a campus beauty contest when I was in university. She told the person me, is just lucky that her school only had 4,000 students. She wouldn't even touch the top 10 at Y University, which has over 30,000 students. The professors in my husband's department have dinner parties, and he and his mother always tell me to diet before I go so that I don't embarrass him by being the thickest woman there. At the dinners, my husband becomes annoyed if I express my opinions or try to engage in academic conversations. Even when the other men ask for my opinion, he always pats my leg, which is his signal for me to stop talking.
I am not in a place where I experience probably what you're experiencing culturally.
Yeah.
So I can never understand exactly what you're going through and how hard it is to break from that. But my advice to you is to leave your husband.
Yeah. If you can.
If you can. You're not happy taking care of his mother. You seem pretty young still. Like, you're at most maybe, mid-20s, I would say, probably.
And he's probably like
mid-30s now. Like, you have so much, life. You could do whatever you want. You do not have to not pursue your dreams because he doesn't want you to.
I feel like a big issue could be if they are in a country where it's like women's rights like that, her getting the kid at all.
That's a good point.
Any custody ability. Yeah. I hope you have a son.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
My husband always complains about his stresses to me, but is always too tired to listen to my feelings or worries. He blames me for the friction between my mother-in-law and me and thinks the problems will just disappear if I ignore them for a long enough while. There is no spicy-related intimacy in the marriage. When I try to initiate, my husband usually says he is too tired or has no time, or initiated something that required no effort on his part and was not stimulating to me at all. When he was in the mood, it was fast with little foreplay, and he only satisfied himself. As a result, I have stopped trying to be intimate with him and rebuff him when he tries to initiate with me. Though I do receive a lot of attention from males, I do not feel good about it because my own husband does not act interested in me 95% of the time. I have wondered whether he is cheating or if I don't look attractive to him because he is around young girls all the time. This has really hurt my self-image because my husband used to say I was the most beautiful woman he'd ever seen, and now he only looks at me when he is in the mood for quick, spicy sleep.
I can't imagine that you're anywhere, like, at the very most, you're 30 years old.
Yeah.
In which case you're still young.
Yeah, because they were already like together at 22.
They were together at 22 because
they met at 20.
They met
together
at 20,
at 22,
and then had the kid.
Yeah, so another year.
Kid seems like still pretty young because she's a stay-at-home mom for the kid.
Well, they put her into preschool, so the kid's like 5, 6.
Okay, so she's probably around 26 to 28.
Yeah. Girl,
Still young.
You're so young.
You're so young.
My daughter is starting to lose respect towards me because of the way my husband and mother-in-law treat me. She has started copying my mother-in-law's habit of clicking her tongue at me. She doesn't listen to me. I have to ask her around 3 times to do something before she does it. When she is upset at me, she copies things that she has heard her grandmother say. I feel like I am losing her. It was my daughter's birthday last week, and my mother-in-law agreed that I would make dinner for my daughter while she would buy a dessert. But when I arrived home after errands, my mother-in-law was in the process of preparing a multi-course meal. She told me she had changed her mind and forgotten to call me, so I had to run out and get a cake even though it was quite late. After dinner, I had to wash all of the dishes and clean all of the vegetable and meat scraps out of the sink while my daughter, mother-in-law, and husband took a walk together without saying anything to me. A few days later, I almost cheated on my husband. A man from the running club, Justin, who I had become acquainted with, told me that he thought my hip flexor muscles were tight. He is a personal trainer. And after the morning running finished, showed me some stretches to do. He said he had overheard me telling another woman in the club that I was craving Italian food, and he asked me to go to his favorite Italian restaurant with him later that day. Honestly, I should have noticed his intentions with me from the stretching excuse, but Justin is a tall, swarthy, and well-built man that all the women like, and I was admittedly flattered by his attention, so I accepted. We met for lunch. He was very charming, and I flirted with him. He complimented me a lot and did more asking than telling. After lunch, he invited me to go for a drive in his car, and I accepted at first, but excused myself when I realized what I was doing. I know what would have happened if I'd gotten in. I didn't think about my husband at all, just my daughter. I confessed to my husband immediately. Oh, I mean, how do you feel about that?
The
Because
thing is,
nothing
like,
happened.
Yeah. Well, okay. If this were a good relationship,
Yes.
I'd be like,
Yes.
yes, absolutely, so good. And like, I still am not advocating that OP cheat at all. Like, OP needs to leave her
Yeah.
relationship.
You still need to leave before anything happens.
But I feel like I less so am going to say like, oh, she shouldn't have done that. I think she should have done it, but I think she is trying to save the relationship or save a relationship that is already gone.
Yeah.
So I feel like the solution is not tell him and try and fix it. It's leave it because
almost
it's not working.
more like I had this feeling, and because of that,
Yes.
we're not working.
Exactly.
Part of me felt bad, and part of me felt like this was the way out. To my surprise, he broke down with tears and apologized. He said he was wrong and begged me to stay with him. He said he wouldn't tell his mother and asked me to go to marriage counseling with him. He said he would change, but I don't believe him. I know he does not respect me or love me. And from my meeting with Justin, I know that I don't respect or love him either. Good. I am not interested in being with him, but the one reason that I consider reconciliation is for my daughter. And by the way, you can reconciliate with us. You can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. We do have another update, but what are your thoughts?
I think that you would be doing your daughter more of a favor if you left, because you're already seeing her adopting these negative views on motherhood from her mom or from her grandma and her dad. They don't respect you, and she's noticing and she's picking up on that.
Yeah, I do wonder if the divorce would change any of that.
Yeah.
If leaving him would actually be a fix. Like I'm almost just kind of like that might just unfortunately be a really
It totally could.
situation.
It totally could. But I feel like right now,
Yeah. It's
she's
still a better
only seeing her
chance.
mother being like told what to do.
Yes.
And
She will see you out with someone who loves you and cares
Yeah.
for you. And is,
you don't want to teach her that this is okay.
yeah. Give her good standards.
Yes, please.
Okay, we're going to find out a bit more about their country's laws,
Yeah.
which will be good. In our country, divorce is somewhat uncommon, and kids from divided households are often subject to bullying in school. I also love my daughter more than anything, and I am terrified that she will hate me if I leave my husband. At the same time, I cannot tolerate my mother-in-law any longer. Even if I go to marriage counseling, I am 100% sure that he would not agree to punt her out. I am past the point of being thankful for the house and the money. She's made my life terrible. I am so confused and conflicted about what to do, and I'm sorry that this post is much longer than I had planned, but I would really like advice that comes from outside the view of my own culture. Thank you if anyone reads this. And that's the end.
Yeah, my advice from outside the culture is divorce.
Divorce.
I truly think in the long run, your daughter will benefit from the divorce.
Yeah.
More so than she will from, maybe not getting bullied, but still seeing her mother get bullied. My sister-in-law kept giving unsolicited advice. Now I don't want her near my son.
Give her worse advice.
I, 28 female, had my son Kaizen 4 months ago. At 22 weeks, I was diagnosed with partial placenta previa, and we were hoping and praying it would resolve. But at 28 weeks, I was told I have complete placenta previa. By the way, this comes from Prestigious Ice 7293, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. So, this news hurt because I had a birth plan, but my doctor still closely monitored it, even though he made it clear that there might be less chance of resolving it, and I might have a C-section. At 35 weeks, I had heavy bleeding, so I delivered my beautiful baby boy through an emergency C-section. My son was in the NICU for 2 weeks before we got to go home. 2 weeks ago, there was a family party at my mother-in-law's house. I was sitting in the ladies when Kai started crying, so I fed him while chatting. Nobody had a problem with that. Then after that, I handed him to my sister-in-law since she wanted to play with him. While she was holding him, she said something. So they started talking about my sister-in-law's labor, and she said it was a breeze. Then I said, "Oh, that's nice. I hope to have a natural with my second someday." Then she said, "A natural birth needs preparation during the whole pregnancy." Then she went on to say, "You never worked out or got active much." So I told her it was because of the placenta previa situation. This woman literally said, "That's not an excuse though. I had round ligament pain and I still managed to keep active." So that's different. That's a different thing. You just said different words. You said a different thing.
And why are we bullying her for her birth?
It's so weird. I told her I was kept on bed rest half my pregnancy and had too many hospital visits, so I didn't want to do anything to risk putting myself in danger. Then she said, "Your body can feel the nerves and it reads accordingly. You should have relaxed and let nature take its course. That's how natural births work. The C-section was avoidable." I told her to F herself and took my baby out of her arms and went to my hubby. We left after. Apparently, she told anyone who asked where I am that I got sensitive and left the party. After a few days, she asked to see Kaizen, and I said I'm not comfortable being around her at the moment. She accused me of weaponizing my son and using him to hurt her. Note, the whole pregnancy she kept on giving unsolicited advice on how to fix the placenta previa, and I feel like she thinks if I had listened to her, I would have had Kaizen naturally. I felt sad for a few weeks after birth because my birth plan didn't go how I wanted it to. These feelings just feel like they resurfaced, to be honest. I thought I was okay. Am I the a-hole for grabbing him and not agreeing to visit her? And there is an update, but what do you think?
No, you're not. I mean,
if she hasn't apologized for what she said, you don't know her anything.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah.
And that's your own medical issue.
Yeah. What is she? She's not a doctor. She doesn't know anything.
Nothing.
But there is an update. I made my post hours ago, and I'm so overwhelmed at the amount of support and kindness I've gotten. So when I told my husband about what he did, I didn't like his reaction. I told him exactly what happened, and he said, "I don't want to interfere in women arguments, babe." I then told him that he can at least ask his sister to be sensitive about my experience. And he said, "Why don't you two talk to my mom about it so she sits you two down and have a mature discussion?" My husband knows sister-in-law is the apple of my mother-in-law's eye, so she would side with her. There has never been a need for my mother-in-law to pick sides, but if there ever was, we all know who she'd choose. I told him that I would feel more comfortable if he's there, but he said it's a birth thing, so women should discuss it. I mentioned in a comment on the original post that my husband suggested therapy. He feels like the only reason I was offended by sister-in-law is because I have not gotten over the fact that I had an emergency C-section. The reason that she was offended by your sister is because your sister was rude.
And why does he sound mad that she had a C-section now?
I mean, he's right, but I just really want him to talk to his sister. Is that so wrong? I want his support and for him to make things clear to her. If you're wondering whether I have a support system like family, then no, I don't. My parents are in a different country and I live in my husband's home country. I do have a few friends. That is why I would appreciate all of your comments. And there is a second update, but what should OP do?
I'm like kind of torn because it sounds like you need your husband to go to talk to the mother-in-law, but he's not gonna. He sounds scared of his own mother and
he's like,
sister.
I can't talk to them. I can't talk to them. I
Don't
think
make
that
me
you
do
need to sit him down and say, hey, pregnancy is not just a woman issue. We had a son together. You were involved in this. Yeah, it was my body, but I need you to, your sister is being rude to me, and I would like you to tell them not to be rude to me.
And and you're my husband. Back me
husband.
up.
Yeah, I need your partnership. Because right now I feel very unsupported.
Yeah.
And it's not, I'm not trying to, we're not being catty. It's not just this silly, immature thing that we're having a fight over. Your sister made a rude comment and I would like to address it. And if he doesn't like that answer, then you say, hey, we might need marriage counseling because you're not hearing me. Update 2. Hey everyone, first off, I would like to thank you all for the support I got. I saw some comments saying I named my son Tragedy with an E-I-G-H. My husband and I agreed that I would pick the first name and he would pick the middle name, so we both get to name him. If you don't like the name, then I don't know how to help you with that. Besides, I did not want his first name on the post, so I used his other name, Kyson. I now realize that I could have just used a fake name. Today, a lot happened. I talked to my sister-in-law and mother-in-law, and I also talked to my husband. It went terribly. Actually, that is an understatement to what happened today. My talk with sister-in-law and mother-in-law took place at my mother-in-law's house at around 10 a.m. I got there and they were already there. I expected my hubby to have gone with me, but he didn't. My sister-in-law got to the point and asked me why I was so upset with her. I reminded her all that she said to me, and she said, was I wrong though? You're just offended that I spoke the truth. I remembered all the advice I got from your comments, and I told her what I had learned about placenta previa and her misinformation. I also told her about the difference between round ligament pain and placenta previa and what I went through. She rolled her eyes and said that's what doctors want to do so they make money off of C-sections. Girl, do you know anything about anything?
I think your regular birth would have still been very expensive.
Girl, you don't. It feels like you're just pulling things out of thin air. My mother-in-law the whole time sat there defending her and saying I shouldn't take it to heart, while sister-in-law still stood on all she said. She called me incompetent and sensitive, so I said some colorful words and walked out. By the way, I was baby wearing. She grabbed my arm and pulled me, telling me she isn't done talking and that I am walking away with her nephew. I told her to let me go or I'll get her arrested for handling me in that manner, so she let go. I told them when they are ready to behave like adults, then they will see Kyson. I was so scared of standing up for myself, but I did it. My hands were shaking, LOL. I got home and hubby wasn't there, so I got Kai to take a nap and called my dad. I spilled everything to him, and he was furious. He told me to either move out or fly back home. I told him I have to talk to hubby first, and I will tell them how things go. When hubby got home later in the afternoon, I was feeding. He came into the living room and asked how the meeting went. I could tell he had a sour mood. I told him it went bad, and he told me, oh, I know. He told me that his mother is so hurt by my disrespect. I told him how they behaved, and he told me that I'm trying to say his mother is a liar. So basically, his mom called and told him I was screaming and shouting at them. She told them I was hysterical and even rattled Kai up. Sister-in-law backed mother-in-law up, so it was like a tag team. I explained what actually happened, and he said all this drama wouldn't be happening if I didn't overreact to a few comments made at the party. I was shocked. I told him I thought he was supposed to defend me, and he said he can't ruin the relationship with his family because of my insecurities. I told him that I will leave with my son and go to people who actually care about me, and that my dad will book my flight. I walked away with Kyson, and he grabbed my arm and said his son goes nowhere. He told me he was tired of my continuous complaints about his family. He said if I was still hurt by those comments, then maybe I'm the problem and need to look into fixing it. He brought up a few memories I don't want to mention, but just past experiences with his family. At this point, it was getting loud and Kai was crying, so I told hubby to relax. He didn't. Let's just say the living room wall understood he was angry. So I told him I want to go somewhere I feel safe. I left with Kai and we are currently in a hotel. I want to move to another city and start life fresh there. I can request for a transfer. My husband expresses himself audibly when angry, so what happened after that was so unusual and a shock. He has called me asking me to come home and that he was just frustrated.
Nope.
No one punches walls when you don't need to do that when you're frustrated.
And if he already did it to a wall, it will get worse.
Yes.
Nope.
Yep. He knows this account and he knows about the posts, so he saw the comments that I got. He sent a message about how I let strangers on the internet get into my head and convince me against my family. He said he felt torn between supporting his sister and supporting me. And I can't blame him for not knowing which side to take. I can.
That also means that he read all these comments
Yeah.
fully siding with her and was like, how dare you?
They just don't know the full story. But you can hear the full stories if you listen to full episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or iHeartRadio and search up Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story, but do you have any final thoughts?
Nothing beyond, I think you did what was good. You took your kid, you got out at the first sign of anything bad.
Yep.
I mean, maybe not the first sign, but the first sign of really bad. And do not go back.
Do not go back. Yeah, this is totally inappropriate behavior. Should not have your child around that. Go to your support system. Go see your family. Yeah, this is not okay. But there is a little bit left to this story. I told him I don't want Kai to grow up in such an environment and stopped replying. I don't know if I was dramatic or did too much. I still don't understand why he got so angry and why he reacted that way. I also want to know why his mom and sister lied to him. I don't know. There's a lot of uncertainty right now, but Kai and I are safe. I will talk to a lawyer about the next steps to take. I feel at peace. I have gone through so much in my 5 years of marriage. I now want to raise my son in a healthy environment. Thank you for the support, really. And folks, that is the end of that story. But yeah, get your support. Get what you need.
Yeah, take your dad up on the flight home.
Yeah, absolutely.